Hey everybody, this is Craig from Nightbolt Games, and today I want to talk about some Silent Hill 2. More specifically, I'm going to talk about Maria as the character. And if you follow me on my Instagram, then you know why I'm doing this video. If not, I busted out my SoundCloud, right? And I had all video game music on there, and I started playing the Silent Hill 2 soundtrack, and I was like, started thinking about Silent Hill 2 because of how awesome it is. And I was like, I should do more videos for Silent Hill 2. So here we go. Anyways, let's think about Maria as a character. I think she's my favorite character in gaming history. She's definitely my favorite villain, which somebody commented that they never thought of her as an aspect of being the antagonist of the game, but ultimately she is the final boss. So, and then some of the points that I like about her as a character, I think help point towards the fact that she is really the boss. I know ultimately all this shit's made up in James' head, so he is the protagonist and the antagonist, if you want to break it down like that. But as far as the game goes, Maria is the antagonist. Yeah, she's a wicked complex character. They put so much into it, and the best part that they could have ever said about Silent Hill 2 is that when they're asked straight on about a meeting, Ito was always like, "Oh, it's up to player interpretation." So that was like the greatest thing. So it makes videos like these possible. But yes, Maria. This will include Born from a Wish. That's why I'm showing the Xbox version. It's my favorite version. I know obviously we have it now on PS2 with the director's cut, but originally when it came out on Xbox, Born from a Wish was new, which was awesome because it added more depth to her character that I talked about when I did the Angela video, saying that we should have got a side story with her. But what I liked about it is that she had the revolver during the entire Born from a Wish. And the reason that you know that she had it in the beginning is because she put it up to her temple and she decided not to kill herself. With her whole existential crisis of, what's the point? Why am I here? And then you play through Born from a Wish and you find out what the point that she's there is. And at that point, the revolver that she's holding, she drops on the ground and she continues to walk. What I liked about it was when you're playing through it, and then she finds out that she's there to torment James. Like that's her goal in life. That's what she has to do. What I like about it is there was even another suicide joke. She made a suicide joke when she met Ernest, because when he said his name was Ernest, and he's locked away in the house by himself in a real like dreary world where she was already thinking about suicide. And he said, "My name is Ernest," and she said Ernest Hemingway, which is a suicide nod to the fact that Ernest Hemingway locked himself in a room in his house and blew his head off with a shotgun. So, knowing from my personal experience with, mental disorders, I guess you could say that, is that your attitude towards it and your willingness to joke about it is, it's just laughing it off when it's actually a serious problem. So, my question from Born from a Wish with her character would be, because when you're playing through Silent Hill 2, you see James's corpse everywhere. It's like he's been through this multiple times and he hasn't learned his lesson, so he's died each time. My one about Maria is, how many times did she have to go through that loop on the Born from a Wish before she actually didn't blow her head off? When I was saying it, she wasn't necessarily bad in the beginning of that. She learned her purpose, that is, her existence is to be bad. But she didn't accept that she was a bad person until she dropped the gun and then started walking, started saying James's name. So she basically accepted, like, that's her role. She's going to be the bad guy. But before that, she wasn't. So it was interesting. So I wonder how many times she actually killed herself before she accepted what she was supposed to do. That's one thing I wanted to say when I forgot who I was talking to on Instagram. I'm sorry, I don't remember off the top of my head, but we were talking about how he didn't think of her as the antagonist because of that, and I was like, well, she wasn't a bad guy, and that's correct. James was way worse. She didn't actually kill anybody. She was just there for mental torment. He smothered someone with a pillow. So, I mean, really, he is the bad guy, but she accepted it. I thought that was pretty awesome. I might be looking way too deep into that, but yeah. The other one is, Silent Hill 2, or Silent Hill 1 had the other world, and it would just switch back and forth, right? 2 points in the game. Silent Hill 2 has another world, but it doesn't come until you hit the hospital, which I think is awesome. And that's another thing to do with Maria's character. So he goes there and he's looking for Mary, okay? He's going there looking for Mary. It's, Silent Hill is run down, it's foggy, but it's not like the industrial otherworld look of the Silent Hills. Even when you're going into the second part of the apartments, it's darker, it's scarier, but it's still not the otherworld version of it. So you clear the apartments and then you go to the lake and you meet Maria, and then after that you go to the bowling alley, you go to the hospital. When you get into the hospital and she gets sick and James gets concerned about her illness, he's not thinking about Mary anymore. Now what's on his mind is Maria. And he goes to the otherworld version of the hospital. That's when the otherworld starts happening, is when Maria intervenes with him, and then she does something that makes him think about her as a character, like worry, blah, blah, blah. So when she dies, everything goes back to normal because he doesn't have to worry about her anymore. She's gone. And then that keeps happening as she keeps popping up, which I think is interesting. And then ultimately when she's gone is when the hotel goes back to normal, right? It's all water and drippy and whatnot. And then you get up to her final boss fight and it's all steel grates and otherworldly again. So I think that's something awesome, that she didn't have any of that ability in her game, but as soon as she accepted it, and then you can see her character gradually accept that she's evil, and she becomes more evil as time goes on. That's just a little thing that they put in that I think extends the character a lot without using any words. So yeah, definitely, she's fucking awesome. And the other one is when in the other world, when I got wicked excited in the otherworld hospital after you fight the flesh slips with Laura. And then you go up into the grate, and then you're going down in the steel elevator. And she whispers James 3 times. I couldn't tell if it was Mary or Maria. And I think it was meant to be like that, so the same would be for James. Like, he can't even differentiate what he wants anymore. So, yeah. Dude. I don't know. Plus, watching her die over and over again. So, essentially, she is what? The person I was talking to. I'm sorry, I can't pull it up right now. You basically said that she was the bad parts of Maria, which is awesome because every other character, every other like enemy and whatever in the game, they all have some slight meaning to his life. Like, the first enemies that are stuck in themselves, that meaning's obvious. He's trapped in himself. And then, the legs, the mannequin legs where he only saw legs. And then the bubble nurses where he only saw cleavage but no face. So they were all little parts of him: sexual repression, being trapped in himself, his guilt. And then she's the embodiment of all of it. So she looks like Mary. She has the mean parts about Mary. And then she has the looks that he wanted. So it's basically, she's like a perfect storm to infiltrate his life. But the best part is, I said, she also seems like she has good parts of it because she cared about Laura. Now, I don't know if that was just added on because the more you read about Laura, then the more concerned she becomes about it, or it's just like a weird thing to make it so she's not so one-dimensional character where she's just like, I'm bad, that's it. So it's kind of like if she got James to care enough, by the end of the game you end up leaving with her. If you show enough care for Maria, you end up leaving with her. So she comes into existence, and he'll just keep repeating that loop over and over and over again because she's sick. So it's kind of like she wanted to come back. If you look at it from her perspective and the fact that you got to play as her in the game, it's kind of like she got a reward for actually being evil. So, dude, I'm very pumped about this. I want to do more. I don't know what else to put with her. Yeah, that's about it. I just wanted to talk about it, ramble for 9 minutes. That worked. Well, 10 minutes by the time I'm done. But what character do you want me to see next? I can do that all day. Thank you guys for watching.